And one last thing I want to bring up, I hit the comma key and you go into project, you have mannequins in here that have been in previous version of ZBrush, so you can go through and you can pose out dogs and frogs and elephants and stuff like that. However, you'll also notice over here we have a Zee Zoo. So if you go in here, you can start out and you can create any number of animals, or at least go through here and just use this as a good starting point. If you want to do a tarantula, just double click that. There you go. And remember, these follow all the rules of your Z-spheres. If you want to know more about Z-spheres, go on my YouTube channel, type in Z-spheres, that'll get you started. Or like I said, on my ArtStation page, ZBrush for Ideation, YouTube channel, ZBrush for Ideation, view full playlist. That'll give you all the basics to get you up and running. And then anything you need to know about in here, you can just type in Z-spheres. And there you go. Tons of information on just kind of playing around with Z-spheres. And I'm just going to interject really quickly here. I know this isn't going to be a Z-sphere lesson, but while we're in here, let's talk a little bit about Z-spheres. Might as well. I'm going to turn off floor, turn off perspective. And just the basics of Z-spheres. If you hit W, you can move around either the joint themselves, in which case you can just kind of move these joints all around and stretch and move them, or you can grab the bones and the connector pieces in between, and you can move and rotate along the joints. If you hit R, you can rotate again down the hierarchy. So basically anything below this point when you're drawing out Z-spheres, you can go through. So you can raise up these arms and then raise these up here, and just keep working down the hierarchy chain, and that's with rotate. Scale, you can either scale an individual joint, or you can scale again along the hierarchy. And one more time, move, and I'm just hitting W, W-E-R, goes to these, and you can move a connector piece, or you can move a joint. When you move a joint, end these little balls here. But you can continue to draw more if you're like, you know what, the spider's almost perfect, but I wish it had longer, bigger front legs. So I can go through here and I can scale along that joint there. I can go through and I can use the move brush if I want to, the move scale and rotate to move stuff around. I can hold down Alt and I can delete pieces. So I can just go through here and I can delete if I don't want those front legs maybe. And if I go into, so I have move, scale, and rotate. If I hit Q, that's a draw mode. And if I hit Q and I can just click and drag on any of these, that'll make another piece, and I just continue drawing. And then I hit W and move. And now I have more Z-spheres I can kind of move around. And again, hold down Alt, go into Q, and then hold down Alt to delete. So if I want to put like a little antenna on here, I can just draw, and then hit W and I can move, and then Q. If I click and drag, I'm just drawing more out, and then I can hit W and move, and now I can move these things around. And if I want to put connectors in the middle here, just hit Q, and then just go to the middle, and again, just continue to move around. So use these to your advantage. You can use these as a starting point. Once you're ready to sculpt, you can go down here. You can hit A, and that'll turn on an adaptive skin. Of course, your adaptive skin with Z-sphere select is down here. Your density is a 2. It has a Dynamesh resolution. If you just want geometry, you can say Dynamesh resolution is 0. Turn this on and off. And there you go. You can just have regular old geometry. You can say density of 1. It's not going to change too much since we have things inserted. It's not super traditional Z-spheres. They're actually using classic skinning, inserting local meshes for the joints and the connectors to achieve this result. But again, very, very nice volumes in here. If you're ready to start sculpting on this, just hit Make Adaptive Skin. So you're going to have your Z-sphere tarantula, and now you're going to have a skin tarantula. Now this is just geometry. So if you want to, you can Dynamesh this. For me, it would be it's just a lot nicer to work with if I go ahead and separate some of these pieces out. So I'm going to hold down Control-Shift, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say Split Hidden. I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to take this body in the middle here. I'm also going to Control-Shift-Select. I'm just going to go right down the middle here and grab all these body pieces. And again, Split Hidden. And just work my way down the object. Just Control-Shift-Click. Split Hidden. Now for these, I can hold down Control-Shift and grab Select Last. So I'm just going to grab most of it and have X Symmetry turned on automatically. Control-Shift-A and then do a Split Hidden. Then select that other subtool. And again, I'm just grabbing, I don't have to grab everything. I just got to grab a little piece of it. Control-Shift-A, Control-Shift-Drag to invert that, Split Hidden. And then one last one here, Control-Shift-A, Split Hidden. And there we go. Now we have a bunch of different subtools. We can sculpt them separately. I can work on them. I can even Dynamesh this together. So we go down here to Geometry, Dynamesh, have X Symmetry turned on if you want to, raise that resolution up a little bit more. Hit Control-W, make it all one polygroup. And now we can go through here, we can grab our clay brush, make sure you have X Symmetry turned on. And you can start sculpting. You can go in here and you can say BI Brush Insert, Primitives, hit M, you can grab a polysphere, or an insert sphere, insert these eyeballs, and just like you did before, you can go down here to the split menu. You can say split unmasked points, and you can alt tap the eyeballs again. You can start working on these things. You can have eyeballs sitting in there, then you can alt tap the body, and you can start working around. Of course, tarantulas have more eyeballs than just 2, but we'll just start with 2. And anyway, you can go through here and you can start making your super cool tarantula creature.